Normally, could keep my cool, but tonight I'm whining. I'ma be in a dangerous mood. Can you match my timing? Telling me that you're really about it, what you're hiding. Talk is cheap, so show me that you understand how I like it. Hopefully, you can last all night, don't get too excited. Privacy, you ain't gotta go nowhere, you can stay inside it. Can you blow my mind? Set off my whole body. If I give you my time, can you snatch my soul from it? I don't wanna wait. I'm taking, take me where I ain't been before. Can you blow my mind? Set off my whole body, whole body. Make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me.
Here we go. With the solar eclipse happening in a few days and about 1 billion conspiracy theories going around the internet, let's...
Footage shared on social media shows the moment a landslide engulfed a road in Taiwan. The landslide was triggered by a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that struck the east coast of the island on April 3rd. Several people have died and more than 100 buildings were damaged in the quake.
Now, eclipses happen 2 to 5 times a year. That's every year. They don't cause calamity or earthquakes or even have more than a mild psychological impact. Shooting sounding rockets into the ionosphere happens all the time, and this is not the first time NASA has done it during an eclipse. All of their missions get weird names, by the way. But I would not put shenanigans past the government, especially after living through the last 4 years. I can assure you of this: if something major happens during the eclipse, they did it.
The combined effects of the gravitational forces on the tectonic plates on Earth's surface exerted by the moon, the sun, and the other planets are one of the main reasons of the earthquakes. This article published in 2023, the moon's pull is so strong it may trigger earthquakes on Earth. Scientists are still baffled by its power. This article published in 2016, moon's pull can trigger big earthquakes. Big earthquakes, such as the ones that devastated Chile in 2010 and Japan in 2011, are more likely to occur during full and new moons.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 and 52. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump shall sound, and the dead shall rise incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Total eclipses occur when the moon passes directly between the Earth and the sun, blocking solar light. Since 1900, only 12 have touched the U.S. mainland, most of them only glancingly. On average, a total solar eclipse will happen where you live only once every 375 years. As it crosses the Texas border at about 1:27 p.m. local time, cities closest to the center of the path, like Waco, Cleveland, and Buffalo, could witness up to 4 minutes or more of darkness. In all, 31 million U.S. residents live in the path of the eclipse.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. It's the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com, whiterabbitpsych.com, and columbianexchange.com, man. It's another video. I know that this video is special because of just the work that we have put in as a collective. I was looking at some of my old videos. Like, I started this channel to do astrology, right? And my life has changed in the understanding of astrology and helping other people understand astrology. And me personally, I sit with these concepts, hours out the day, things that I could have been doing other than trying to understand what Mars means for Black people, or what Jupiter means in just normal everyday language. That's what I'm about. And so when I look at this solar eclipse and the ability to talk about it and then just think about who I am and what I plan on doing moving forward, is very empowering, because one thing I know is that in 2017, witnessing the last American solar eclipse, my life changed. And I'm here to tell you that astrology, planets, the sun, the moon, I know it goes without saying, but in this world, we get so focused on the mundane, but these planets have a lot of power, extremely amount of power. And I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to study it. I'm excited to experience it and, be enlightened and be awakened by the planets and the planetary forces, because we are that, right? It took me a long time to synthesize and understand these energies. I've written books about it. I took countless amounts of notes and studied a countless amounts of hours to understand the synthesis between planets and chakras. And when we talk about planets, we're talking about our central nervous system, we're talking about our chakras, and we're talking about our enlightenment. And if I'm the only person having this conversation on YouTube, I'm perfectly fine with that, because this is the true and correct conversation that we as original people should be having. So I want you to just, reflect and understand that, they talk to the original people like children. Like, we can't get into deep metaphysics and occult science and astrology and astronomy and apply this and be magicians and sorcerers, right? They want to put a limit on us, but I represent the opposite of that, where we have no limits, and the only limits are the limits that we actually put on ourselves. So when we talk about this solar eclipse, I want you guys to tap into the article. The link is in the description. It's a free article, and I figured something out. I'll talk about it now because we're here and we're in our new moon energy. So we're setting intentions. One in the chat. If it's so much drama in the LBC. It's kind of hard being Snoop D-O double G, but somehow, some way, you niggas better write down your intentions before 1 o'clock tomorrow, right? You better set your intentions, because I want you to understand and understand why the hype is about the solar eclipse, because they want to siphon your energy. They want to predict the future utilizing your energy. But we need to understand, if there was a cataclysmic event that could wipe out all of humanity in some form or fashion ever before on this earth, we wouldn't be here. Meaning that our ancestors, by hook or crook, have survived every cataclysm. If you can understand this and understand this, I want you to put a 1 in the chat, because you come from a strong DNA. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was basically showing millions of sperm racing to be the one sperm that inseminated the ovary. You are that one. You think about that. You are one in a million. Shout out to Aaliyah, right? Akasha, right? The voice. Without that, we wouldn't even be here to be able to understand and overstand these concepts. So, Ashe to Aaliyah, the goddess. But yeah, solar eclipse energy, free article. What I was going to tell you guys is that we're going to open this thing up. There's going to be more articles on the Substack, but we're going to do, like, I've been going live at night lately, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I've had the StreamYard platform. I want to open up the StreamYard platform, and I want to just have conversations or readings, and just the people who are paid, they'll get a StreamYard link. It's $5 a month. Get a reading, come up here, shoot the shit, kick a freestyle, do some poetry. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna just open the panel up, and I want to have conversations with people as much as I can, based on my energy, based upon whatever. But if I have the energy and I'm like, I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna send the link to the Substack, the paid subscribers, and we're gonna chop it up, right? And then this also means that I'm canceling my Patreon subscription. I've had that for years. And I'm gonna cancel that, but I'm gonna just import my $50 tier in Substack. So if you want to pay $50 a month on Substack, you will get a 30 to 45 minute monthly astrology reading. And it's really the best thing ever. When the people that I do that for, I feel that that's the best growth, because I'm looking at your chart every month, and you have a professional astrologer basically looking at your chart, just gaming you up for the upcoming month. It's a very beautiful thing, and I've been doing that for years. But I'm gonna just shift it all to Substack, because I cannot do two things at the same time. I'm not a good multitasker. So I'm going to convert all of my, hopefully everybody from Patreon comes to Substack. If not, I appreciate you. It's been a wonderful ride over there at Patreon, but Substack is just where it's at. I just feel more comfortable with just the platform and me being able to do everything that I want to do. And the payment system is dope. They pay you every day. I'm telling everybody this because if you ever took English class in fucking high school, you're a writer. Did you ever do an essay? One's in the chat if you niggas ever did an essay, because I swear I'll be talking to nobody out here. If you ever wrote an essay, guess what? You're a writer. And you got notes, you got thoughts, you got creativity. I mean, the possibilities are endless how you could express yourself online. I just feel like it's a good outlet. And who knows, you possibly could monetize yourself if you are able to help people through the modality of writing. And so back to the actual conversation and article, which if you want to just read along, you can. Link is in the description. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through this article. And in the article, I have hyperlinks that will help you dive deeper into the science, because I've been studying different Substacks, different authors on Substack, and I've seen different styles of writing. The writing that's most engaging to me is, what am I talking about, in the hyperlink, so you could get deeper into the subject. You could do your due diligence, because I've seen writing styles where people is just like serenading you, and that's cool, but we here to do work. Ones in the chat, we here to get this, like, y'all have to understand this, right? It can't just be a person talking. That's dead, and that's a scam, right? If you don't do the work, right? Anything that anybody says, it does not matter. You have to do the work. And by proxy of Kyrie, right, whatever I am, whatever I represent, it's not going to rub off on your ass. I'm old enough to realize that I might have thought that at a particular time, but now I'm just in the space that everybody has their own work to do. and that's fine with me because I got my own work to do and I can't micromanage individuals and possibly that don't even want to do the work. So this year really taught me that. Let me know if y'all out there, y'all been in type situations where this year you've learned some things about your close quote unquote friends and family. Is that a have you been revealed certain things to the people closest to you? But then have that forged bonds in other places in your life? Give me a one in the chat. Have you created some new relationships this year? Out of the blue relationships that came out of nowhere? Maybe things that you prayed for and asked for. Okay. We're just bringing out the energy, and this could be professionally, uh, whatever your bag is. You know, I guess 2023 is trying to integrate a reality, integrate a shift. Now, the problem with this is if you want to live the old life and take the shift at the same time, that creates the great schism, the great split. So one has to fully commit to the shift. And that's what this solar eclipse is like. I don't have doom and gloom. I've been doing this astrology shit. Niggas pop up out of nowhere, astrology experts, scaring you half to death. And y'all stand for it. Don't stand for that shit. Because when we talk about when we talk about astrology, we're talking about magnetism. We're talking about inner standing, right? Connecting the outer with the inner. You have a viewpoint of the cosmos when you quiet your mind. If you understand and overstand, if you start looking at your body as a ladder of lights, and each pinpoint of light is a particular planet in a frequency, this is why studying your charts. Now, I could be a person that's full of shit, and I would stand on that. Like, yeah, I'm just a person that's full of shit. But you could go to my Setmore right now and just read the reviews. I never force nobody to write me a review. I send a link. I tell people, write a review if you like. You read the reviews. That's who I am. I got sites online. Everything that I do, everything that I'm about, I share with people and say, this is what helped me. And people say, yeah, that helped me too. That's just who I am. And so that's why I study astrology. I'm not going to doom and gloom you niggas. The worst thing that I do is curse. Or I wouldn't even say curse. I use profanity because I'm trying to wean out the fuck niggas out my sight. This is why I'm still here, because I talk the way that I talk. I use it as a defense mechanism because you're going to either listen past it and understand my heart, understand my soul, or my verbiage is going to turn you off and you wasn't supposed to be here in the first place. It's people that can be in your life only to fuck it up. It's people that's in people's channels. Think about fucking people like Nature Boy. He let somebody into his life and he could have been a creep, but it would be one thing if everybody told on you or if a couple people told on you, but you done been around thousands of people, but 2 people go to the laws and now you in jail because you let people into your life. Why do you do that? Because you don't understand the nature of people, right? And the nature of people is that they're either going to help you or they're going to use you. That's how it is. So I'm a person that's strictly here to help. I'm never here to use and take advantage of people. And that's why I hope that you take notes and get into the information. And when I say get into the information, learn to apply it. Learn to look at yourself as an energetic body. Because when this solar eclipse happens, you can do the right thing, right? You could be in the space of meditation, right? We're all in the external. Everybody is going to watch the solar eclipse. And let's just understand this. Let's sit back and try to like look at what's happening and say, should we watch it or should we not watch it? The moon is going to be in front of the sun. But think about what you do when the moon is out. You in the house sleeping or fucking or dancing at the club or whatever you do at night. Some people work third shift, but the moon is going to be out. Darkness. So everything is going to be flipped. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this so you can do magic, be intentional. That's the difference between, we come from a genealogy of winners, from sperm cells to fucking ancestors. You would have to come from winners because you're still here. You existing like you steal that sperm, that's the fucking winner. This is who you are in essence. So watching something, you could do it, but you got to think about the whole planet. The whole planet is not going to be doing the same thing. That's why it's always winners and losers. That's why it's always people that succeed and people that fail. You would think that the person who shows up is going to be the winner, but it's really the person that's really doing magic that's the winner. It's the person that's doing sorcery is the winner, because it's not what you think it is. It's good people that don't got it figured out because they're not doing magic. I want y'all to sit and think about it for a second, because we're talking about the sun and the moon, and we're talking about astrology, okay? Get any astrology book, and it's going to say the sun is your expression. The moon is how you feel, your emotions. So how you feel in your emotions, dealing with Pisces energy or Cancer energy or Scorpio energy, the layer for a motherfucker is just like how I feel about life. But the deeper reality is how I feel about God. So when you start looking at Stephen Curry's, which is an 8th house, sun in Pisces, he the best player. But talk to Stephen Curry, watch an interview of Steph Curry, and see how many times he talk about God. Just listen to how many times he talk about God, and then it'll start to click. Because how he the best player is because he let God into his, it's called the flow state. He got, all right, since y'all think y'all always think I'm bullshitting, Curry's shoe name. What's the name of his shoe? So y'all don't know this because y'all don't be buying Curry's. Ones in the chat. Y'all don't be buying Curry's, do y'all? Let's see. Let's just look for it. What is Curry Flow? The Curry Flow 8 effectively disrupts the design, whatever. But he got shoes called the Curry Flow 8. Now let's look at his chart. Because I'm going to just show you how astrology play out in real terms, because it's important. Because we could wish for magic. We could wish for magic, or we could understand some shit and apply some shit and succeed in life. I just want you to pay attention to the house. The sun in the 8th house, Pisces in the 8th house. Then I want you to go to the White Rabbit, because we putting out articles and we ain't putting out bullshit. Pisces in the 8th house. Early life challenges provided spiritual lessons that now allow you to solve issues at a high level by incorporating both source consciousness and material understanding. Don't get lopsided either way. The trauma you face motivates you to serve others, healing their wounds, maintaining spiritual principles that keep you on your desired path. And so, what another person might look at as a person just playing basketball, I see it as somebody who is living based upon principles, surrounded by perfection and learning and applying and putting pressure on niggas to be something that the world has never seen, because God can give you that authority to be that if you put in the work. But the question is, are you honestly going to put in the work knowing that God got your back, or are you going to be just like chilling about it? Because if you look at the 8th house of Pisces, or the first deacon of Pisces is ruled by the 8 of Cups, which just basically translates into laziness. And it basically translates into spiritually laziness, where God is blessing you, made you the fastest swimmer, but you want to chill and relax. What part of the game is that? Where did you learn that from? And so we dumbing down ourselves, and we are allowing the media to have us in a space where we're looking at this solar eclipse energy afraid, but not even going to get into or even listen to people who've been talking about astrology before. And people come on the scene, doom and gloom, be afraid, be very afraid. No. But I do think that it is smart to prepare in some form or fashion, right? Meaning that have some form of a network, know somewhere that you could go where there's people there. Like, don't isolate yourself. And if you feel isolated, try to reach out. Like, people can't find you if you're not reaching out. And so, how do you feel? Right? Is a very strong question that you should ask yourself, because how you feel and what you haven't healed from might force you to just be in a space where you're just not even moving, like you're just sitting in water. You're not even swimming or floating. You're just there. And it's like, use those waters to heal. Like, get into the emotions of healing. And part of it, if you look at the third deacon of Scorpio, where is utilizing your imagination. And this is kind of what you're doing anyways. If you're sad or you're happy, you're just imagining some shit, right? So you got to be a little bit more conscious with it and a little bit more intentional about it, because either the world going to end or it's not going to end. If it ends tomorrow, wasn't going to be shit you could have did about it anyways. But if it didn't end and we go to business as usual, you going to wish your ass set some motherfucking intentions when your boss is calling you like, why are you late to work, bitch? You're supposed to be here at 8. It's 8:10. Get your ass to work. You like, damn, I thought the world was going to end, so I didn't think I had to go to work or pay my rent. And your landlord calling you like, what's up with this rent? It's the fucking 9th, motherfucker. It's the 9th. Bone Thugs and Harmony said it's the first of the month, but it's the 9th. What's going on? Shit, I thought the world was going to end. So that's the game. I'm telling you, that's the game. I done been in this shit for too long to know that's the game. Whenever they get into the hype, like they really hyping it too. They hyping it because of astrology. And I need y'all to ask yourselves, when have they ever did this before? It's been astrology transits out the ass. We never related nothing to astrology ever in our lives. We celebrate Easter. That got to deal with the fucking full moon. You ain't learned about that until you had to deal with some esoterics. Your school didn't tell you, oh yeah, the reason that we celebrating Easter because it's the first full moon after the spring equinox. Yeah, because astrology matters in how we celebrate and recognize things in 2024. I mean, every year we're going to celebrate Easter in relation to the full moon. But astrology don't matter, everybody. Let's talk about something else. Let's get into basketball. You seen Caitlin Clark? Oh my God. Oh my God. They won. They won the game. Oh. Yeah, but a life-changing solar eclipse is happening. You got water. They won the game. Oh my God. I seen a kid walking into the grocery store with the game on his phone. And I said, man, ain't nothing else that we should be talking about besides this solar eclipse. It shouldn't be nothing else on your mind. Where is it at in my chart? That's why I put Pisces through the houses, because it's happening in Pisces. You ain't got your chart open figuring out where the solar eclipse is happening in your chart, and it's happening tomorrow. But you in the doom and gloom of it. I seen this fantastical nigga talking all types of biblical everything, and I'm just like, okay. And if the government come out with Uzis and AK-47s and everything manifests before our eyes, what is we all going to do about it? Now, I just need to act like everything is not on the external. We don't live in a world like that. We are too powerful psychically. Think about like niggas really get on my nerves because they think like we live in a world of chance when we live in a world of magic, nigga. This is it's too much angels and demons and spirits around us, but we can't perceive it. We shouldn't be so fucking dense to say, well, since we can't see it, it doesn't matter. But then wear fucking masks for COVID. Come on, y'all. What is we doing? Like, for real, we wore masks and they told us to wear masks, didn't we? We couldn't go to fucking Walmart without a mask. Niggas was on my fucking ass. Where's your mask? You got a mask? We'll give you a mask. But I don't see the virus. I don't see it. But wear your mask, man. I don't know. I'm just here. I just trying to get a paycheck, man. Just trying to get paid just like you, man. Just wear the mask, man. I don't want no trouble. Okay. If I put on this mask, we're going to talk about astrology for a couple of hours. But I don't see it. It's not real. We're going to talk about spirits for a couple of hours. But I don't see it. It's real. We're going to talk about angels for a couple of hours. I don't see it. It ain't real. We're going to talk about demons for a couple of hours. I don't see it. It don't matter. But put on a mask, man. I just want to keep my job, man. Please, man. I be feeling like I'm living in the fucking Twilight Zone with niggas, bro. At the end of the day. At the end of the day, we do not live in a world where the outer creates the inner. We live in a world where the inner creates the outer. So if I can feed your... Raphael said, come on, man, chill on them, man. Damn, you got a message. And you call, hey, if they could give you a message, you'll take the message and then you'll create the reality. That has to stop. We don't live in a world like that. I need you to pan back. Think about a white motherfucker that live in Montana or something like that. That got his own farm, his own cattle, his own generator, his own well, and then paying back into your family that's living off government assistance or living off a job. They dependent on that job. If the direct deposit don't come through, then what is mama gonna do? Then you compare him back. A nigga in Jamaica with a fruit tree, coconuts and bananas and oranges. Like, yeah, man, I'm about to go to the fish and pick a fish up by the ice, man. Throw it on the fire. Stewed fish, man. It's good for you, man. We at the grocery store, like, is that tilapia? Why I got a face on it? It looked like my uncle. $10.99, okay. So all I'm saying is, society, your friends, your family they can morph you into a person that you're not even that. And the changes that spirit have to get inside of you and fucking work your ass around to get you to a place of saying, well, damn, why don't I just link up with like minds? Why don't I just start working on my Substack? Why don't I just do my YouTube channel? Why don't I just start selling ass on the corner? I'ma just do me. Why don't I just do me? Why am I sitting here trying to make these niggas happy and every day they wake up unhappy? So since they unhappy, I'm unhappy. I'm trying to, as spiritual beings, we get fucked up. We try to make the outer change the inner. And until we get into the inner changing the outer, we're not going to understand anything. We're going to be trying to figure out what the solar eclipse means on the external, when what the solar eclipse means is what we intend it to be. And these things have all, like when you look at Jupiter conjunct Uranus and you have a solar eclipse with Chiron exact, it just brings up this Bible verse. Behold, I tell you a mystery, right? It's setting the stage. Like, this is some shit that people don't know. And even if they think they know, they still don't know, right? We shall not all sleep. And this is like, it's like a survivor mechanism within your DNA that is kind of like, I'm ready to take on the radiation. I'm ready to take on all the cosmic rays. I'm ready to be awakened. I want to see the world for what it is. I don't want the Matrix to keep putting up a facade, bro. We live in a world of facades, right? I was thinking about this earlier. It's two types of people. It's people that grind and get it, and it's other people that inherit it from their parents, right? You can look up the 30 billionaires, the 30 richest people is that way because they inherited the money. In no shade, but we looking at life based upon what a person have. But how could that be the true measure if we working as hard as anybody and maybe we don't have the most or everything? Does that make us not good enough? Or should we have some fucking psychosis, some problem, something wrong with us because we not, a billionaire or a millionaire? Like, is something wrong with us? So we gonna work hard to try to be this thing, to do this thing, but in a real sense, we don't even know who we are. We still sleep. Money have you sleep. Sex have you sleep. Like, you have to really wake yourself up. So we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed, right? And I know that it's talking about tomorrow. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. Like, in some Bibles, it says at the last trump. It don't even say at the last trumpet. It say at the last trump. And that's one of the keys that I know that it's talking about tomorrow, right? The trumpet will sound. When the trumpet will sound, that's Archangel Gabriel, right? Archangel Gabriel and Baron Samedi is the reason why women feel like it's cool to be single, right? When you think about it, Archangel Gabriel was the one who came down to Mary and told her about Jesus. She ain't have sex with her husband. She had sex with Archangel Gabriel, right? Archangel Gabriel is the one who blew the trumpet, right? And I'm only saying this because this is the real thing that's happening, right? It's a lot of demonic entities through pornography and online dating and random casual sex that everybody have just normalized as an inescapable truth. And, you know, I know why people have a tough time being in relationships with men, because you're not honest with men. You need to be honest with the men, right? You can't be with a man and he not asking you about your sexual past. That's not honest. So you will be with a man, lying to him, and have emotional meltdowns. Because the reality of it is not appealing. Nobody wants to hear that. Not to say, like, I would want the truth. Like, I'm cool with it, right? I'm down for the truth, right? And I make you comfortable enough to be honest with me and not use it against you. I'm just letting the woman know, like, that's the only way we could do it, because your emotions, you can't even, like, your emotions are a barrier to God. That's why men will be like, yeah, I fuck like 10 women in one day, right? That's honest. Women say, yeah, I fuck like 10 niggas in one day. Like, you'd be like, wait, what? Why? Why you do that? Right? It's hard to be honest about that, even if it is something that you do. I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about reality. Everybody want to talk about everything except reality. I'm saying, like, a motherfucker will get in front of you and be pretty or be decent and talk spiritual, but you don't know they sexual deviancy. That's evil. That's Baron Samedi. That's Baron. That's Baron right there. Right? That's him. He ruled that whole realm of everything we see in the world today, the separation between men and women. That's an actual demonic influence that's just able to run free. Cause you're not about to find nobody that's just like honest. It might be, and it's another thing, smiling faces. We're talking about the moon and the sun. So the sun, your expression is a smile, but your moon, your emotions, is all over the motherfucking place. And all you know how to do is smile. That don't mean shit. How you feel and how you express yourself need to be in alignment. And if how you feel, you don't want to express yourself like that, you should deal with that. You should get into chakra work. Read Chakra Nova, right? Activate your root chakra. Balance your sacral chakra. Get into identifying your emotions. Get out of your fight or flight. And then your expression, if it's a smile, it'll be a free flow of energy. And you could get fucked up by a smile, right? Men can get fucked up by a smile, because what's going to happen when the trigger happens? What happens to that smile when she's triggered? Because you are who you are, but who you are doesn't align with what she wants or what she desires. Then she's triggered, and it comes out of nowhere. And you're like, damn. That's because you're not even breathing out the honesty in the relationship. So the trumpets is going to sound. And people, like, it's already been happening, like, throughout. Like, so many people where people just have emotional breakdowns. And I just be wanting to say, if you're not living in truth, you're going to break down. Because at the end of the day, however people are feeling, you could come to the realization like, all right, man, fuck it. I can't control how you feel. I'm just going to continue on and do what I need to do. The continuation and the drawing out of the emotion and trying to get something off your chest with somebody, or being so frustrated that things ain't working out the way you want it to work out, well, you need to actually do the spiritual work now. You need to stop smiling and acting like everything is cool and acting like you know something when you really don't know shit. Meaning, like, you really need to sit with this shit. You really, like, you can't just be having tarot decks in your house, but you don't know the difference between a sword and a cup, or a major and a minor. How many cards in the deck? How is it divided? What's the difference between the court cards and the elements? You're not gonna sit and really study the shit, but you're gonna be like, yeah, I want to do readings. Why? But like, you really, like, you can really, like, this is me, bro. This is Kyrie. I done sat with this shit and sat with this motherfucking shit, bro. You gotta sit with this shit. You gotta just sit with this shit, bro. And you gotta be in love with sitting with this shit to the point where you understand what a sword is. You understand what cups are. You understand what Pluto means. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It should just be like this. Venus is the planet of love. The first house is related to Aries, is related to how people see me. The 10th house is related to my career, ruled by Capricorn. You should just know this shit. So you ain't sat with this shit, and you then be like, well, I don't really know. I'm not really sure. But you haven't, you don't, it's like, it's not magic, niggas. It's not magic, bro. It's not magic. It's not simple. It's like, this is the analogy that's been in my head, so I'm sharing it with y'all. It's like a farm. You don't take days off from running a farm. You never take a day off from running a farm. You never take a day off. A farm is no such thing as a day off on a farm. No such thing. Whatever mentality, like I said, we in a world where they teach you about a fucking weekend. There's no such thing as a fucking weekend, dog. It's literally no such thing. Days aren't ruled by planets. They're not. Every day is a 24-hour cycle. And it's the same as the last day before it. It's never a different shift of energy. You just got a fucking bullshit ass job. That's it. You just got a fucking job, and they need to make sure that your ass is there for a lot of amount of time, so they can kick their foot and they foot in your ass. They need to make sure they got 40 hours plus of foot to ass, nigga. That's what that means. Ain't no Monday, nigga. There's no such thing as a Tuesday. That's not real. That's not real. So all I'm saying is there's no such thing as a weekend. There's no such day as I haven't been paying attention to my spiritual development. You know, I've been kind of, fucking with this girl, she got a fat old ass hood. I'm telling you, man. Have a fat old ass hood. Yeah, I ain't been doing nothing spiritual. Just been drinking beer, fucking on this hoe, man. Hey, chakras though. I feel you. Man. I keep doing your thing, hood. I see you. I see you. No, you don't see me. When they listen, and I'm talking about relationships, jobs, anything serious, that 24 hours that they spend away from you is over. Finito. You don't talk to a girl for 24 hours. You shitting me? Is you shitting me? You ain't talked to her in 24? Man, that is not your girl. That is not your farm. You cannot operate. There's no days off on the farm. When they put these factories in, if we was living on the farm, we wouldn't know Monday from Friday. Guess what we would know though? The new moon and the fucking full moon. Why? Because we gotta plant shit, nigga, according to the new moon. And these niggas saying this is an eclipse coming. Oh, get out the good grains then, nigga. Get out mama's grains. Get out grandma's grains. We got grains organized in different genus groups and shit. So eclipse coming. Oh, time to plant some shit. We don't know because we like it's coming over the cities. Like it's fucking idiocracy out this bitch. Niggas in the city at their house with a refrigerator with meat in it. Like it's a solar eclipse. I got steak in my refrigerator. You mean the Milky Way, the sacred cow, nigga? You a cannibal for real. Like Passover, gonna pass right over you. Talking about inner realities. The dead will be raised incorruptible. So I think about 2017 when I think about this energy. I think about where I was at in my journey and like experiencing the solar eclipse. It like literally changed the trajectory of my career. Like period. My life changed after that solar eclipse. And from there, I've been a fan of solar eclipse ever since, right? So that's what I'm saying. What's your intentions? What you want out of life? Like, what do you want out of life? You better write it down. You better believe in that shit, niggas. I'm tired of this shit. You better act like your life can change. One in the chat. One's in the chat if your life can change, man. You better act like your life can change. Because that's what this shit is about. It ain't nothing. You will look back at your life and say, before this eclipse and after this eclipse. Like your life is changing and we shall be changed, man. That's like, I don't want you to look at this shit like, just another day. So once again, make sure you know where Pisces is at in your chart, because where it's at in my chart is the 7th house, house of relationships, house of partnerships. And yeah, and so that's where it's affected me at personally, right? And it's also affecting everybody because it's a damn earthquake in New York. Did y'all see this? Hear about this? And when you talk about solar activity, you're talking about like the earth is a nigga. He's a man. It's like us. Like when you think about us, right? Where does that come from? Like what is you ever heard of the concept Mother Earth, right? That's how ancients viewed the earth, as a mother, right? Meaning that we got our way of living from it, like our ideas came from it, ingesting the fungi, ingesting the plants, things of that nature. And this is what gave us our personality and our understanding. We would ingest the spirits and dance and become different people. And we understand ourselves through the consciousness that is deeply embedded within the earth. But we're far away from that now, right? They have digressed us human beings to normalizing eating meat that we haven't hunted. We haven't hunted the meat. So what would drive a person to hunt? Starvation. You ain't starving. But yet you will still eat meat that you didn't hunt. And you fine with it. But that's meat. That's muscle. That's you got meat on you. That's weird. But you even hunted, so you didn't need it. You didn't need it, but you ate it. You were okay with it. And this is the world that we live in. So when we talk about enlightenment and consciousness, it don't really hit people. Not all people. Some people, but not all people. And this is just the world that we live in. And the same consciousness that produce animals and plants, they give you enough plants and fruits and berries and nuts to eat, that the earth is telling you and teaching you this is how it should be. And if you ever dealt with plant medicine on a regular basis, like this was your normal diet, where you had a vegan diet and you ingested plant medicine, the reason that you would do that, in essence, is to deal with earth consciousness. So you can be on the same accordance with the earth, so you never be caught lacking. You'll have no business eating that meat. Because what intelligence are you getting from the meat that you couldn't get from beans or legumes or just all different types of shit? Like I eat kale trail mix and be good. Not even thinking about food, getting everything that I need, protein, nutrients, all that. So all I'm saying is you could be connected to the earth or you could be disconnected from the earth, and it's going to matter when these things are taking place. This solar eclipse is an opportunity for most of us, but a lot of us are, for lack of better words, missing out on the opportunity because it's one, we are never taught anything. And we're not able to like really pan out and see what this world is like, where we can say, oh, it's billions of people doing billions of different things. Why am I forcing myself to do this? Why am I putting myself in this box? Why am I being lazy? And these are the questions that Neptune asks, right? Why are you lazy when it comes to spiritual development? This is a new phenomenon. I'm telling you, this is not, we used to be able to talk about spirituality nonstop, right? It was never a point where people would say, man, that video too long. This is too wordy. I haven't read a book. Hey man, you got an ebook? Niggas had books. Niggas would go to lectures and sit on hard ass chairs and just listen and absorb the information. We love the information. But Neptune went into this first decan of Neptune is lazy energy. Neptune is the planet of spiritual development. And I feel like you got to work through that inertia because it's going to kick high gear when it goes into the second decan of your spiritual profession. Like it's not over for you because you haven't meditated in a month or a year or wherever. You haven't done shit. And you realizing it, and don't feel bad about it, but do the work. Do the work, because once you get out of your spiritual inertia, your spiritual laziness, and you do the meditations, you sit with the information, get the fuck off of TikTok and Instagram and now YouTube, shit. I say get an Everend account. Get a fucking book and break the book down. Take notes on the book. Get out of this video shit, because all of these videos is algorithms, and the niggas making the videos now is artificial intelligence. They got the bot set up. They know how to get the most views and rig the system. So if you don't know the nigga with the bots and the nigga with the algorithm hacks, people not going to even see your content, and you might be having the knowledge to kick. But there is no algorithm on Everand yet. You could still get a good book, Astrology Explained, Chakra Nova, and just break shit down. Like take notes and learn this shit. Do not be lazy about spiritual anything because it's going to help you in other areas. Whatever you're feeling against doing the meditation, doing the yoga, doing the stretching, doing the exercises, clearing your mind, reading the books, you got to fight through it. You can't be like, I was so good when Neptune was in Aquarius, when I was lying to myself, when I had imposter syndrome. I was doing so good. And Spirit said, nope, get that out. All right, nigga, you just gonna sit with it until the idea come, right? We gonna make you the idea gonna come, the synchronicity gonna come, the friends gonna come. It's all gonna come. It's not like we're still in Pisces energy, so it's all is not lost. However, it's like a emotional barrier. I tell you, it's like if you look up Cepheus, right? Cepheus is a constellation. I'm gonna make sense of this. It's all coming to me, right? It's I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Let's just do this because it's hard to see it. All right. So it's a planet called Cepheus, right? And Cepheus is like right next to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. But it's more closer to like Pisces. And it's like viewed as like this sea monster. But it's like aligned with Pisces, right? It's aligned with Pisces and it's like a sea monster. So a sea monster is like emotional monster, but it's like a guard, right? It's like a guardian of some sort. I wish it had like, they're not gonna tell you nothing about it. Nothing about it for real. But I'm just showing you the website on Astrology King. But this is like I said, you're not gonna find shit on Google for real, but we can do it like this. You'll be hard pressed to find some shit on Google that's gonna help you understand some shit. Yeah, they be on some weird shit online, yo. I don't know. It ain't like it used to be. But Cepheus is actually a black king. That's what I'm like reading and understanding. Cepheus was the king of Ethiopia. He was married to Cassiopeia, who was the father of Andromeda, both of whom are immortalized as modern day constellations along with Cepheus. Right, that's interesting. But more or less, I wish they would have like different things, like just a place where it can all be at, where you can get all of these mythologies and understandings in one place. But no. Anyways, okay. It's this sea monster who's on the guardians between Pisces and Aries, and he stands there and he's like making sure people can make it through and make sure people cannot make it through. Basically, that's the gist of it. But I also understand it as you can't be emotionally untruthful about things. Like you really have to fill it out, and that's gonna be your like you got to know like you doing the right thing, you following source, and even if the whole world is against you, you have to be following source and like doing the right thing, like basically for your soul. And when you do it like that, Cepheus will let you pass into Aries. But more or less, if you just like not fully committed to the emotional journey or not committed to like really loving God or loving the study, then more or less Cepheus is like, nope, denied. And most people, they feel like I look the part, I act the part, I smile, I'm a good person. Why ain't I getting it? Why haven't it really stuck with me? And it's like you have to truly, truly love source. Like, like you have to, and I use God because I'm just more comfortable using that word, but feel free to fill in the blank, creator, source, universe, whatever you want to use. But there's an intelligent design that created this whole entire matrix that should be venerated to a certain degree. And in that veneration, you will find the keys to life. If you don't actually understand the grass growing out of the dirt and the tree growing and the stars and the this beautiful planet, all of the spirits, the multitude of spirits, angels, demons, animals, plant life, fish. If you think a nigga created that, you gotta be smoking crack. No, your baby daddy, you be like, my baby daddy is a god. And how? Like, what are you talking about? How is your baby daddy a god? What did he create? He created a lake. He created a forest. He just dicked you down. Now he a god incarnate. Like, no. Like, I wouldn't even call yourself a mini god. Like, you just a human being for real, trying to figure it out. Because God's majesty and power and understanding and overstanding is second to none. So, man or woman, to make it through the barrier between Pisces and Aries, it's like you can do this kind of cycle where you're just looping it, or you can be in the DNA spiral, right? And Cepheus is the entity, and I might be saying now that I think about it, I'm probably saying the wrong word. Is it Cetus? Might be Cetus. Okay, it wasn't Cepheus, it was Cetus, right? And that's the constellation. Yeah, that's the sea monster. Okay. I was saying the wrong word. So Cetus is the sea monster, and this is the nigga that's not gonna let you smile and act like you got a healthy relationship, and all you do is just smile at the nigga. You be like, hi, honey, how was your day? Hard as hell. Okay. Real tough. Okay. I'm gonna go back to doing what I was doing though. I'm sorry that you had a rough day. I wish it was something that I could do for you. I mean, it actually could. Okay. Okay, I was just hoping to have a perfect relationship. I ain't know I was supposed to like lift the nigga up for real after having a hard day. That wasn't in the they ain't talk about that on Real Housewives. Like when your man down, this what you do to lift them up. Like raise his vibration and frequency. I thought it was kind of like, you ever bought a Barbie doll? You ever got a Ken doll? I thought niggas was gonna be like that. He have like a multitude of cars and houses and stuff, and we just go on vacations and stuff, but he don't have no real feelings. God darn it. Right. And then be like, well, why am I figuring it out? Because Cetus' ass is right there on the precipice, not letting your ass through. For no, you'll be on a cycle forever. You'll be on an endless loop forever. You'll never figure it out. Because everything is on the surface for people. Everything is like, well, I got money. Cetus don't care about the money. The sea monster don't care about the money. You'll be like, is they ready? Nope. Send them on another loop. Now, how do you get above and beyond? You love the work. You love God. You be in this. It's so many fucking people in the spiritual community right now getting hella money from y'all niggas. That's why they in the spiritual community. Because of the money they getting from you niggas. Period, point blank, end of story. Nothing to be said here. Where's the dollars? Where them dollars at? Where them dollars at? Where them dollars at? Where them? That's a gangster boo. R.I.P. to gangster boo. Where them dollars at? In the name of spirit. So the reason why I'm harboring and belaboring the fucking point is because all of these energies are in sidereal Pisces. So emotional meltdowns, and that's not even the worst. That's not even the worst thing. I'm happy for a nigga who have an emotional meltdown. It's really the people who like, I am blissful. I'm doing so amazing. This wonderful thing is happening to me and all of this shit. And it's like, okay, that's what's up. But we really here to do work and progress. We trying to cycle. I mean, not even cycle. We trying to spiral up. So we got to look at the NPCs of the world and say, okay, this motherfucker is just always going to be good. And then we online too. Let's like we online and we dealing with bots. This is real shit. You need to know this. You need to know this. The bot is operating on a script, right? And you be in these groups and these forums and these comments, and the script is always going to say positive things. Especially in these spiritual comments, like high level spiritual pages, the ones with like 100K followers and all of that type stuff. It's a percentage of bots in the comments that a spiritual person might ask a question, how you feel? And you be like, man, I'm feeling like shit. But you'll look on the comments and you be like, I feel amazing. I just left the spa. But that's a bot saying that. Why is it a bot? Because it's the internet. The internet is dead. Most, like, if you look online, just look at recent things online and be like, how many bots are on the internet wherever I go? YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever I go, how many bots is possibly associated with this account? It's going to be 40 to 70%, leaning more to 70%. And these bots are the things that's influencing people to think in certain ways that everything is perfect. Like everything is everything. And none of this is being able to teach you how to ascend. If you is not in a resort and the nigga next to you is going to a resort and they ain't telling you how to get to resort, them going to a resort is pointless and is literally designed to make you feel a certain way about yourself, because this whole algorithm is a CIA invention. Facebook, Instagram is CIA. Meaning that if you got an account, they know who you are. How would they not know who you are when you put in all of your information and you sign away your basic life to be on Instagram and Facebook? The terms of service, the TOS, that nobody reads and just everybody accepts. But then when I start talking about CIA and Facebook and Instagram, don't nobody want to talk about it. But then it's like, well, I feel like shit. And it's like, well, maybe the bots are influencing your mind. And you can't even be grateful for what you have because a bot who don't have shit is telling you how good it is. We talk about artificial intelligence, Saturn in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius, where these people can utilize the age of information and create profiles and entities that most of y'all follow. But these people are not even real. They just artificial intelligence. And then they just telling you, and it goes, and it's multi-layered, multifaceted, because even if they don't get you through the tech, they definitely got you motherfuckers with the possession. Cancel Christmas. If a nigga can't tell you that, like, if nobody's telling you about possession, I would say that they possessed. You need to listen to me because I'm telling you the truth. So you're not confused. So he's like, well, is everybody possessed? You would have to think like that so you could begin to tune into your soul. So you could get past fucking Cetus ass, the fucking sea monster that's like, is this person ready? Nope, they not ready. They still trying to feel good, but they don't love God. A fucking grass will grow out the ground and you don't love God is just so crazy to me. Meaning that we were once a people so interested in this planet that we lived in that it consumed us. Now we don't give a fuck about it. Why? Because we were implanted information from demons, angels, ghosts, ancestors, tech motherfuckers. Like, it's just so many people just trying to steal your mind because they know who you are and you don't have the slightest idea. And if you don't know this, you're not even going to fight. You're going to literally be like, man, I need to be an influencer. Yeah, I did. Now that Neptune's traveled into the middle of Pisces, I'm ready to start my YouTube channel. What you selling? Nothing. I'm going to just talk about sports. Okay. Why you going to talk about sports? You ever played professionally? No, I just been watching it my whole life. You know LeBron doing a podcast, so that pretty much canceled it out for any sports podcaster. Like, that's the president of motherfucking, like, all right, I can't talk about basketball no more if LeBron is talking about basketball. Like, really think about it. Like, this nigga's actually playing basketball, talking about basketball. Let's talk about the farm. This nigga's on the farm farming, got a successful farm. And it's the nigga that never farmed telling you, like, he watching other niggas farm, and he like, yeah, I got a podcast teaching you about farm, but the actual farmer got a podcast? Why would I listen to a nigga that never farmed? So what are you doing? What is your 10,000 hours? What do you got 10,000 hours of studying? Stop being fucking lazy. Don't be complaining about, I don't have no money, but I haven't studied nothing for 10,000 hours. I'm just the nigga that went to the library and studied shit for hours on end because I didn't know shit. And I wasn't comfortable not knowing shit. That shit didn't never sit right with me. I would look at a chart and be like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I gotta figure what I'm looking at because I don't feel comfortable not knowing something, and there's niggas around me that know some shit. Right? That's like being in fucking Mexico and never learning Spanish. Why would you do it? So why would you be on the earth and not understand astrology? So once again, we're talking about Pisces as a concept because we have a stellium in Pisces, and we need to understand and overstand Pisces so we can understand the energy. The energy is emotional, the true emotion. And so when we look at Pisces, we're also looking at Jesus, right? That's Jesus is a fisherman, right? Somewhere here. Couple of things about Pisces. Kuan Yin, right? That's who should be fucking with on the goddess tip. Yoni goddess, right? Mother Earth, Mother Waters. Like, we need to get into the Yoni as a concept that bring forth new light. Like mercy and compassion, because how could we know if we never been taught? But it's ways to go into realms in the dream state where you can open yourself up. But this is diet, herbs, and journaling. There's no shortcuts. No ways around it. You doing a thing to make you pass the fuck out and wake up. You missing out on a third of your life. Most of us are sad because we don't know who we are in the dream set. Like we're lost, like we lost our own best friend. I'm talking about Pisces. Pisces is the dream. It's two fishes that chase each other, man. It's metaphor for waking life, dreaming life, material life, spiritual life, and they are one and the same, but they're two fishes. So what is Christ? A mediator. We are Christ consciousness, mediators for divine knowledge. But the difference between the 12th house and any other house, or Pisces and any other sign, is that you actually have to give a fuck about other people. So you play counterintuitive to the world. And so for people who've understood this and understand this, they're going to be good with this solar eclipse energy. It's the selfish motherfuckers that's having emotional meltdowns. It's people who couldn't be honest with their partners, but then living in the energy of like, yeah, I'm gonna be lying and this, that, and the third, and like right? And this is not to make nobody feel guilty. It's to explain why certain things are happening in the world. So then you could be a lot more grateful of how far you came along this spiritual journey, but then also know what to do moving forward. Being that channel, being that mediator, being Christ consciousness. This is the work. And there's no other work besides this, because if you ever think that you know something as a human being, you basically under possession. What does Lucifer do? What does Baron do? They give you low hanging fruit. They give you low grade psychic abilities. They give you these things and they feels good, but they also leave you in vicarious predicaments at the end of it all. They have you out here looking dumb, out here looking stupid, because the ideology, it just don't show up in the real world. It only show up in your mind, in your head. So when we talk about real emotions, it have nothing to do with what you're thinking about, what you believe, even what you know. Because you could never know shit when you love God. If you truly love God, how could you ever know anything? You only know basically one thing. I'm here to serve humanity in the best way that I can. Because it'll be times, if you're serious about the journey, you realize that you ain't shit. You'll impact so many lives. And you'll come back into sense consciousness. Like, who the fuck am I? I know I'm just not like, I'm really not shit. How are you saying that I helped you? And how you say I'm thank you and I'm grateful and da 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 da? I ain't shit. How? Oh, and you might get sucked back into the vortex of being nothing and being an instrument for God, being an instrument for source. And that's the way that it goes. That's true Pisces energy. That's only thing, like you not in this world by yourself. It's like one snake feeding the other. And if you're in this world and you're taking care of yourself, you got a nice house, and you got a nice car, and you look good, and you all about you outside of the energy, and you having a fucking meltdown. But if you showing up for your man, you showing up for your girl, you just trying to do the best that you can, motherfuckers hating on you, people trying to tear you down, and you just trying to do the best that you can, you gonna be blessed in this solar eclipse energy. Because the energies is demonic that's going against you right now. One's in the chat, if you can sense the energy. They possessing your family and friends to be against you in spirit, in mind, in words, in action. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. Why is they saying that? If you don't understand that this energy is under Pisces, then it's just like, what is they going out into the river and fishing? They literally going to fish for people. Have you ever seen a person cast a net and hook a nigga in the jaw? You like, I caught this nigger in the river. How do you fish for people if you don't literally fish for them? You steal their motherfucking souls. That's how you fish for people. That's the age that we're living in. People's souls is wrapped up into whatever thing that they believe in. That's scary shit, because the only thing you should believe in is your soul. So we all shall be changed. I hope that we can all come to a level of understanding consciousness, because Puff Daddy did not create the mountains, and that's why his ass is getting kicked. Suge Knight did not create the lakes and rivers. That's why his ass is getting kicked. Tory Lanez did not make the rainfall. That's why his ass is getting kicked. See, the male ego is one of the most interesting things ever in the history of man. It's always the toughest and baddest motherfuckers in the most fetal position, because they sick, bruised, battered, hurt, fucked up on the inside, because they don't understand up and down, sun and moon, higher self and lower self, night and day. It's just whatever people want out of me, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a protector and I'm going to be a provider. But who going to protect you? Who going to provide for you? That's God's job. So I don't give a fuck what a person is. That's the password for me. How much do you love God? Or you don't love God at all? Like, this is the literal thing that I use to power through my life. I can't depend on nobody but God. Right? That's just me. So in understanding and understanding Pisces is almost like an end, right? But an end creates a new beginning. And for me, I'm ascending in my work, and it's a natural ascendance. It's because I'm understanding and overstanding what I did wrong, and I want to do things right, and I want to do things like that. Like, I see the vision for how I want to do things with my channel, and for me, that is an ascending. So you could be doing the same thing, but are you leveling it up? Is your relationship getting different? Do you feel growth in your relationship because y'all are living in your relationship in emotional truth? Or are you just the nigga that pay the bills every month? Right? And if you just the nigga that pay the bills every month, guess what? Your life is going in a cycle. But does your wife even see you and recognize you to be a human? Like, I seen something today, or I understood something today about how a woman can love a man in a way that I'd never seen it, but it felt very normal and natural. And it wasn't like a motivation for me to be lazy, but it just made me see things in a way to be like, okay, this is the relationship that I'm in right now. This is the person that I'm in a relationship, and this is the way that they know how to love based upon their family, right? And I seen that, and that was very encouraging for me. And just understanding like the shifts and changes that's happening in my life is because I wanted them to change this way. And that's the real revelation for me. Because when things don't happen the way you want them to happen, but they happen anyway, it's usually because you wanted it to happen that way, but you don't want to come across as a bad person. So you rebuke that thought, right? You rebuke the thought of, I didn't want to be in a relationship with my baby daddy. But since you rebuke that thought, you say he left me, right? You tell this narrative, he left me. But the real thought was you didn't want to be with him anyways. And when he left, you didn't chase him, right? Why didn't you chase? Because you was okay with it. And so we're talking about shifts and changes, and that's why you got to figure out where this is coming at in your house. You can go to AstroSeek, get a transit chart, and from the transit chart, you just look up the date and see where Pisces is at in your chart, and then you can go to the White Rabbit and look at my Pisces through the houses to get some basic idea, or you could do more research. I'm just putting it out there for people, so they could just know that this solar eclipse is not an all-encompassing thing. It's going to be specific to the house that is happening in your chart. And of course, it is happening in the Raati nakshatra. And Raati is just Sanskrit, and my translation is so much light. So you think about light, you think about the sun, and the sun radiates energy. And radiate means that it spreads from a center space, okay? And this is more or less the soul, and this is what we have. We have a power to radiate our life throughout the planet, radiate our energy throughout the planet. And that's what this nakshatra speaks to. It is a combination of Jupiter and Mercury, and that to me represents inner wisdom, because Mercury is the planet of communication, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So the archetype that comes to mind is King Solomon, where King Solomon could have asked God for anything, but he asked God for wisdom. And wisdom is what, like, if you have wisdom, when you have inner knowing, and you act on that inner knowing, there is no real excuses. There is no laziness. There is no idolatry. There is no externalization of your God force energy. You know, it all comes from within, and you're applying this knowledge, and you can't help but to expand. You might not get into a space or energy where everybody loves you or likes you, but one thing you need to understand that nobody was born in this world to make another person happy. If a person chooses to be happy, they will have to do that work to become happy. But if somebody is around you and they're bringing you hell, and the reason that they're bringing you hell is because you're not making them happy, or you're too boring, or you don't have enough of this, none of this is really Jupiter and Mercury, right? It's all outer distraction. So when you talk about Raati nakshatra, the light that you have to be radiating, you have to find it within yourself. And people that can, if you have people in your life that see the light in you and wish to bring that light out of you, then you'll know it, right? But if you have people around you that either they can't find it within themselves or they can't see it within you for whatever reason, you know it as well. So inner wisdom is the courage and the strength to know the difference and to really make those changes. And life is so crazy that when you operate in ignorance, you make bad choices. And when you make bad choices, you have bad results, you have negative energy. But if you never get to the point where you don't realize that your depression comes from ignorance, like, think about that. If you don't realize your depression and sadness comes from the fact that you just don't know, then you would never learn. And I'm talking about spirituality. I'm talking about Bobby Hemmett. I'm talking about Brother Panic. The roots of this actual thing that we're doing is on the backs of scholarship. Scholarship is inner wisdom. And a lot of people is TikTok with it. A lot of people is algorithm with it, you know? And I'm talking about something that is it's within you, but you have to kind of really slowly uncover it through the study of occult studies. Like, that's why all the books are there. That's why it's written in so many codes and so many metaphysics and so many dynamics, because it's not supposed to be easily obtained. Okay? It's just the truth. Hopefully you know that and understand that whenever you're trying to be something in life, you're willing to put in the work and go the extra mile and really get into the inertia of learning. The symbol of Raati is the drum. And so this brings me back to voodoo ceremonies. The most important thing to voodoo ceremonies is the drum. So when we talk about this eclipse energy, what should be the soundtrack? Drums. There's nothing more spiritual than drums. Drums are, and not the beating of the drum. Drums create silence. The space between each sound is silence. Each silence between each drum sound is a gateway. The space between the sounds and the drums are a gateway, and we can easily slip into a gateway. Now we have to pan out and say, what is the religion of the age? Music, hip hop. What is the instrument that drives all hip hop? The drum. But it wouldn't be. The 808 creates a different portal for a young mind to slip down. That would then open them up to pornography. That would then open them up to this or that or this or that. And by you know it, you don't lost your child. Because of the drum. The drum brings you into altered state consciousness because of the spaces that it opens up with each thud. Now, we can listen to Haitian voodoo drums and go into spiritual portals and dimensions within the mind. But once again, we're talking about a solar eclipse and Raati Nakshatra. The symbol for Raati is the drum, something that you can't make up. So one would say, well, what should I be doing during the new moon? You should either be drumming in your drum circle or listening to drum circle music on YouTube or Haitian voodoo drums. You should be bringing in the solar eclipse with drums and meditating, figuring out what portal you want to go through. Do you know that every night you wake up into a different portal? You know that every night you wake up and you're in a different timeline, maybe a subtle different timeline than the other one, but a complete and utter different timeline nonetheless. Every night you go through different timelines and portals and wormholes and different dimensions, and in some realities these things happen, some realities they don't happen. But what we're doing with this solar eclipse is like the end of Loki, where you sit on your throne and you synthesize all of the timelines into one timeline that you have control, that you can manipulate, because you understand and overstand the things that are happening, and you're applying the knowledge in your everyday life because the ancestors have already laid it out before us because they knew we was going to be ignorant. Pusan is the deity of Raati. Pusan is Mithras. Mithras or Pusan is the god of meetings, marriages, journeys, paths. And one of this, we're always on a journey, but this energy is about path working and road openers. So the deity and the energy, if you need a road opener, you need to start fucking with Saint Peter. Saint Peter is the entity that is going to help you clear the path. right? This is just information. I'm not going to lie to you. Just do your Googles, do your research, right? Do your understanding and overstanding. Don't tell me that your life is fucked up, you're depressed, you're just sad, and I say, well, work with St. Peter to open the road for you so you can like have a clear path and working with this solar eclipse and be like, oh well, I just like having my life being fucked up. I was just venting to you, hood. I didn't want you to come with no solution. Right? I don't know, man. We talk about partnerships, those things are coming into alignment. Marriages, these are things that are shifting, or you either going to create a new relationship or you going to ascend with your partner. You can't fake marriage. You can't fake relationships. They have to be real on an energetic level and they have to be present. And they also have to be in reference to how much each person loves God. If you're not sure about your relationship, start loving God. Cause when you start loving God, your partner is going to be real mad at you. Because the love that you was loving them with has always been the love that you should be loving God. And guess who your partner should be loving? Your partner should not love you. Your partner need to love God. That's a real marriage when both people love God. You can read that in the Law of Attraction volume by Abraham Hicks. That's basically what she's talking about in the whole book, relationships. I was trying to get a Law of Attraction book and she kept talking about relationships and I'm like, how do I get this money on? And she kept saying how relationships is when two people love source, when two people are in the vortex. But we are conditioned and we have been implanted is to say a relationship is when somebody loves you or when you love somebody. But you can never love anybody. You can only love God. That's why Cetus is not going to let you through. Like, all right. Not going through. No ascension here. Going to stamp you, send you on through the goddamn conveyor belt. Pusan is the god of new beginnings and road openings, marking a new phase in life where you must choose a path you are willing to commit to. This is the truth. Like what path, like if you was going, like, how can you choose multiple paths? And then are you willing to commit to it? And then we're talking about Pisces, emotionally commit to it. So when you're with somebody, you don't say, I'm going to be with you, but if I'm not happy, then I'm going to have to leave. That's not emotionally committing. You say, to emotionally commit is saying we're going to work on this farm every day until we die. We're going to work on this farm here, buddy, every day until we die. We're going to fucking stick our hands up a chicken's arse every day and pull an egg out of it until we die. That's what we're going to do. Because if we take a day off on our farm, we're not going to have a farm. But what about the weekends, honey? That's an invention, baby. There's no such thing as a weekend. God didn't create weekends. God didn't call Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday. God just gave us the sun and the moon. That's what God gave us. The weekend is fake news. So, a couple of things I want to talk about before I get out of here. Venus conjunct Neptune happening in the chart, right? So, once again, Neptune is more or less in Pisces, exalted in Pisces. So, the spiritual development, the burning of the herbs, the spiritual aesthetics that you do every day is going to bring luck into your life. The spiritual aesthetics, the consistency, the education, the spiritual development, and fighting through that inertia and learning to love this process. Neptune conjunct Venus. So, new relationships, new finances, new opportunities don't come because you was just waiting for it to come. They come because you were actually in the lab doing that work, inventing, channeling. It's ideas that you got in your mind right now. You just ain't executed them ideas yet. So that's spiritual laziness. That's Neptune and Pisces. Is you don't love the idea. The idea is a baby. You will go to jail for child neglect. Okay. Get a lot of time for child neglect. I'm about to start locking you niggas up for not implementing your ideas into the world. I'm gonna lock you niggas up. Telling you, turn into a sheriff, right? Like, why you put me in jail, hood? Because you had these ideas that you ain't bringing to manifest. They just sitting in your journal. They need to be a script. Need to be a little skit or something, a product or something, a course. These niggas is doing courses with no accreditation. Do something, right? Don't be lazy. Love the development, love the journey, right? This is an opportunity to do magic, do sorcery if you needed love, wanted love. If you needed money, wanted money. It's time to tune in and tap into the energy in unison with the solar eclipse. One more transit that I want to talk about is Jupiter conjunct Uranus. I'm gonna do another video when it has a full conjunction on April 20th. We're gonna talk about this through the houses because it's gonna be Taurus energy, and for a lot of us, this could be the awakening to our inheritance, right? And our inheritance is our skills, talents, and abilities that we got from our ancestors and our souls that we can be utilizing in this matrix to make us that money on, right? It's too many billionaires and millionaires out here for us to be acting like we just poor, right? And we can't never get nothing for ourselves, right? The only reason that we may or may not be broke is because we're not bringing forth our skills, talents, abilities to the world, and we're not monetizing ourselves, meaning we're not valuing our time and our energy to charge appropriately or accordingly to people who request our goods or services. Right? It's basic mathematics, it's getting into the market and really understanding your value and then translating that value to other people and not being lazy with it. You might have to market your product all day, every day until you get your first sale. But understand that if you didn't market that product all day, every day, you wouldn't have got no sale. So if you got a business, you better grind because every day I get text messages from Sheen, and I ain't never even bought clothes from Sheen. One's in the chat. I get updates, 30% off sales. And I'll be like, man, I gotta just send an email once a week. I don't want to bombard their emails, right? You gotta get up out there and get it, right? You can't be afraid because otherwise we'll be in some uh weird world where we're just waiting for our inheritance, and more or less we have to bring our inheritance out of us. We need to find it within ourselves and then bring it to the world. So the difference between an inheritance and you know anything else, I would say, is that when you know you're good at something or you have something of value, you don't mind sharing, you don't mind promoting, you don't mind telling people what you have to offer because if you're able to get a sale, if you're able to get a referral, if you're able to get somebody to you know buy your sample or whatever it is that you're selling, you're going to convince them, you're going to provide value to them. But the reality is, nobody's going to knock on your door and say, hey, what do you got to sell? I was trying to sell into your company, right? You got to be the one, right? So when these energies move into Aries, the sun and the moon and Mercury and Venus, all of these energies move into Aries, you have to be the one to say, be your salesman or saleswoman bag and say, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer, and I'm bone crusher. What do you mean by that? I ain't never scared. What? We ain't never scared. What? Like, why you scared to sell your shit, right? What person gonna tell you no? They gonna tell you no if you don't sell it, right? But if you put it out there, they might be able to tell you yes. So with that being said, we've seen the world thus far, TikTok, Reels, um, all this shit, and it's like it went OD right with real, and then like it's kind of reaching a middle point where if you have something to offer, you can be heard, right? If you can really get to the heart of people, you can be heard because there's so much AI, there's so much fake shit out here that the real shit is like a breath of fresh air. And so once again, anybody can start these websites, Substacks, and there's always going to be a difference between somebody who is just talking out their ass versus somebody who actually done the work, who really can understand and overstand tarot. Like, it's still a space for intro to tarot, right? It's still a space for that, right? People like you wouldn't even believe how many people still need beginner magic or beginner astrology, right? It's still a space to teach and educate people. And I'm just saying, it could be you that is the person that takes those reins and starts their intro to tarot class, teaching people about the elements, teaching people about the suits and things of that nature. Because it's so many different tribes and people that's out there that's just craving for something real, right? And you could be that person. So, and it's all connected to your bag, it's all connected to your voice. Taurus rules the throat. But when we talk about the throat, it's more or less tied into your talent, skill, or ability. It could be dancing, it could be sewing, it could be basketball. All of this represents your voice or your throat because it is how you procure material resources in your life. And so when you look at this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus on 420, instead of smoking weed, you can start visualizing how are you going to put forward your skills, talents, abilities to the world, and hopefully you're understanding the cyclical nature of it, that you're taking previous information and it's helping you make an informed decision. You can kind of understand how this shit works, right? We've had many loops since 2020, right? It's like a 2020 shift, then it's like 2021, super weird, 2022, super weird. Now we're in the like 24, 25, like you should be getting a hang of it to where you have to be multi-dimensional. You have to be online presence, but you have to be in the streets with it. And wherever you go, however you show up, you have to have a level of integrity. You need to be that guy. You need to be that girl. How do you become that? You need to put in the effort, right? You're not going to put in the effort if you don't love it, right? The only reason why people don't put in the effort because they don't know that they should love understanding tarot from the Fool to Judgment. You should, once you understand it and get a grasp for the numerology and the Kabbalah and the all of these different aspects tied into astrology or tarot, right? Astrology connected to tarot, all of these, it's a wonderful world of connection and correspondences, but you may not get there if you don't love it. So in this generation, right, this time that we're in, right, people are doing it for clout, for views, for bots, for recognition. And really, the only reason that you should do anything is because you absolutely love wisdom. Okay. So that is the video. That is the time. That is what I'm sharing with you. Of course, there's so much more information, as you can see. If you're able to read the article, you get your own. It's a free article. Like I said, we're going to do a lot more free articles on the Substack, and we're going to be opening up the conversation portal so we can have real spiritual talks. Been doing a lot more readings lately and been having some very inspiring talks, and so I'm just ready to like share that with people. I want to be a voice that on the late night we can have real conversations. And the internet is a place where it's like boys ain't shit and girls ain't shit, and it's just like very boring to me. And I just refuse to be that guy that like it's really low hanging fruit, and I'll be tempted. As y'all can see, some videos I try to test the waters, but it's just not me. But what is me is doing readings. I love to do readings. I love to talk to people. And so that's my intention with my channel, to really take it into the next dimension of um, having impact. If not on, that's always been my goal with this channel anyway. If I could only impact one person, right? And that's always been my goal, just reach one person. So I'm gonna continue with that goal, but we're gonna open up the StreamYard, have the conversations, and yeah, in order to get the links to join me, you will have to be a paid member, and we're gonna have different tiers. We're gonna have all of that set up very shortly. But all of my focus and energy has been on this solar eclipse, and so I put out 2 articles in 2 days. Um, really worked countless hours to put this stuff out, actually, and hopefully you can see it in the work. So I would encourage everybody to check me out on Substack, read these things, take notes on them, check the hyperlinks, and see where the solar eclipse is happening in your chart, and do the due diligence. And with that being said, man, I hope y'all was able to enjoy this video and gain something from it, take some notes from it. But mainly, I will hope that y'all read the article, because that's the real work, and that's where you're going to get the real gnosis. So, with that being said, I'm going to run the outro video, and I'll just observe the chat and see if there's any questions, and I'll come back. And the time of the eclipse, let's look it up so we can all bear witness. What time is the lunar eclipse? So you're going to have to, of course, yeah, it's about that time. It's going to be today. Like, it's about to be Monday. So let's see when the solar eclipse is. So it begins at 1:58 Eastern Standard Time. So it's closer to 2. And it's going to, like, so when it begins, it's going to be like coming across, and they'll be on top of each other, pause, at 3:14 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure, I suck at time zones personally. It's one of the worst things ever for me, honestly, doing readings. If you in a Western time zone, I get automatically confused. But that goes without saying. Figure out what time it is on the West Coast if you live on the West Coast. But if you are on the East Coast, it's going to be at 3:14 p.m. So what should you do? Should you be watching it? I mean, if you resonate with that, if your soul is telling you to watch it, go ahead and watch it. But I'm going to be in deep meditation, listening to my favorite drum CD at the time. I don't know what it is. Got a couple of them, but yeah, I'm gonna be listening to drums and meditating and vibrating. I don't know, I don't know if my kid's gonna be here or not, but I know what I'm gonna be doing, right? And it's going to end approximately at 4:30. And so I really wish everybody peace and love and gratitude on this journey. Um, Tomorrow, man, we're going to have an event, right? It's not going to be nothing, okay? Not just going to be one of those things that's just like, whatever. We're talking about the understanding and overstanding of as above, so below, right? You hear it all the time, but then people, you try to, get into the science of their chart, and it's like, well, I don't understand it. As above, so below. Like, it's a new moon. I wasn't paying attention to the new moon. Was you paying attention to this job that I hate? Okay. What about your farm? Ain't been paying attention to the farm, you know. You ain't checked the chickens. You ain't checked the garden, nothing. Yeah, I just been busy doing these other things. And the farm is an analogy for Neptune and Pisces, spiritual development. Should not be a day that you don't spiritually develop. Doesn't make sense. God didn't create Monday. God didn't create weekends, right? We're doing this thing every single day. So once again, I'm going to open it up for the chat. Any questions? I'm going to play my outro video. Just want to say, little slight flex. I did make the cinematic music for this, right? No download, straight up Fruity Loops. So enjoy. Just wanted to add that in.
Here we go. With the solar eclipse happening in a few days and about 1 billion conspiracy theories going around the internet, let's...
Footage shared on social media shows the moment a landslide engulfed a road in Taiwan. The landslide was triggered by a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that struck the east coast of the island on April 3rd. Several people have died and more than 100 buildings were damaged in the quake.
Now, eclipses happen 2 to 5 times a year. That's every year. They don't cause calamity or earthquakes or even have more than a mild psychological impact. Shooting sounding rockets into the ionosphere happens all the time, and this is not the first time NASA has done it during an eclipse. All of their missions get weird names, by the way. But I would not put shenanigans past the government, especially after living through the last 4 years. I can assure you of this. If something major happens during the eclipse, they did it.
The combined effects of the gravitational forces on the tectonic plates on Earth's surface exerted by the moon, the sun, and the other planets are one of the main reasons of the earthquakes. This article published in 2023, the moon's pull is so strong it may trigger earthquakes on Earth. Scientists are still baffled by its power. This article published in 2016, moon's pull can trigger big earthquakes. Big earthquakes, such as the ones that devastated Chile in 2010 and Japan in 2011, are more likely to occur during full and new moons.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 and 52. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump shall sound, and the dead shall rise incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Total eclipses occur when the moon passes directly between the Earth and the sun, blocking solar light. Since 1900, only 12 have touched the U.S. mainland, most of them only glancingly. On average, a total solar eclipse will happen where you live only once every 375 years. As it crosses the Texas border at about 1:27 p.m. local time, cities closest to the center of the path, like Waco, Cleveland, and Buffalo, could witness up to 4 minutes or more of darkness. In all, 31 million U.S. residents live in the path of the eclipse.